Hello there, my name is Alaydriem and welcome back to another Minecraft Bedrock tutorial with your favorite cardigan wearing Minecraft character. And today in this episode, I'm going to show you how to build this combination Nether Star and Wither Rose farm for your Minecraft Bedrock 1.19 world. This farm is really easy to set up, and as long as you're okay with some slightly manipulative mechanics in order to get the wither trapped here in this spawn spot, this is really quick and easy to get set up. So in terms of mechanics, this farm is pretty straightforward. We're going to delete this end gateway portal, leaving only the bedrock of the end gateway itself. And then we're just going to build a small containment unit underneath where our wither is. And that will get us all of our wither roses from a bunch of dead chickens. Killing the wither, you really don't need to do anything. This wither will die completely on its own inside of this bedrock little block here. If you want to speed this up though, you can come over here with just a sharpness 5 sword or shoot it with an arrow from a distance. This farm is really incredibly safe. Even in survival on hard mode with absolutely no armor, you're likely not going to take any damage from this unless you get caught up in the blast effect or if you get knocked off this ledge, both of which are incredibly easy to avoid. These wither skulls that it shoots out, they're basically rendered harmless by this farm. So with that said, let's go ahead and dive straight into the tutorial. So to get started with this farm, you want to have some podzol on you and then a red mushroom. You're going to place that podzol one below this piece of bedrock here and then grow this red mushroom up into this thing. And as you can see here, this has a really nasty side effect of deleting end gateway portals. So now you have yourself the perfect trap in order to store our wither. So once you have this end gateway portal knocked out, all you got to do is knock these blocks out. Not a lot you need to do other than just bone meal that. There's a block up there about 7 blocks high that you can also use in order to get the mushroom to not grow super duper high, but most mushrooms will grow pretty low. So once you have this in place, you're going to want to find some way to determine which direction is east and west. And the easiest way to do this here in the end is just grab yourself a piece of dirt and a sunflower, because we're going to want to orient this farm so that our wither spawns on the west side and then spawns into this end gateway. And the west side is the opposite side that the sunflower faces. So the sunflower faces the east and then west the opposite way. So you're going to go ahead next and build out this platform here. It's just 4 blocks back with a little T shape. And then you're going to go to the top and the bottom of this and cover all of these components with obsidian. Once you have this obsidian in place, you're pretty much done with the Nether Star part of this. All you need to do now is summon in a wither and go ahead and grab yourself a couple of pieces of soul sand and then some wither skulls. And then once you place all of those down, your wither should spawn and you should see it do this little weird swooping up thing, and then it will proceed to get stuck inside of this end gateway. Recommend you back up just a little bit from this wither just so that when it first spawns in, that blast effect doesn't kill you. And all you got to do at this point is just sit around and wait. The wither will eventually suffocate to death inside of this bedrock. We placed obsidian underneath here mainly to make sure that it didn't spawn in any weird way. As long as that bedrock is there when it gets placed and when it spawns in, your wither will remain trapped inside of this end gateway bedrock. Now, if you want to speed this process along, go ahead and get yourself some arrows. Normal arrows will work just fine, but if you want to expedite the process, you can go ahead and craft yourself some instant health 2 arrow of healing. You just get yourself some instant health 2 potions, throw that in a cauldron, and then dip some arrows in. And as you can see here, that's pretty effective at whittling his health away. Remember, with the wither, you have this phase change that occurs at half health. Once that phase change occurs, you will need to get up close and personal. So just use the arrows to expedite the process in order to get there. And like I said, the wither will just suffocate to death inside of this bedrock, even if you don't do anything. And then once your wither bites the dust, he will drop you a lovely little Nether Star right up there. So all you got to do is pillar up real quick, and then you will have your Nether Star just sitting here. Make sure if you want to do this again, you kill all of these skeletons that spawn in right here, they will not be able to hurt you. You're also going to want to make sure that you also replace your obsidian on top and on the bottom of all of these spots right here. It's really important you get all of this, because if you miss a single spot, your wither could get loose, and having a wither loose here by your end gateway is generally a bad idea. But as you can see here, getting this going again is super incredibly simple. Just repair any of the damage that is done to your wither killer and then respawn the wither. Now, if you want to double this farm and have it also double as a wither rose farm, all we need to do is build a second platform directly beneath this, fill it up with some water, and then populate it with as many chickens as we can. And building that is so incredibly simple. Just go ahead and grab yourself some bedrock, and you can come directly underneath this. You're going to go 1, 2, and then that's going to be our floor. You're going to extend out 1, 2, 3, 4 in each direction. And then you're just going to fill in this platform 3 blocks on each side. So we're going to repeat the exact same thing over here. 1 row, 2 row, and then 3 rows. Next, you're going to come over and you're going to fill in the sides of this. Make sure that this is too high. This will prevent your chickens from escaping once we get them spawned in. And repeat that on all 4 edges of this little box that we have. Once this box is in place, go ahead and get yourself 4 buckets of water, and you're going to drop a bucket of water here in the corner of each of these. That will ensure that the chickens all kind of float to the center, and then you can just spawn in some chickens. And obviously, for demonstration purposes, I am just filling this up with some chicken spawn eggs. But in survival mode, just go ahead and grab yourself a ton of regular chicken eggs, and then you can just throw them down in here. You have a pretty good spawn chance of these happening, and then those chickens will come right there. Make sure you don't do what I just did and kind of punch them out, the chicken eggs. Just make sure you bring enough chicken eggs, because these guys are going to be completely obliterated by the time this wither is done with them. And like I mentioned earlier, you're going to want to fill up the corners of this with water. That will help push all of the chickens more towards the center, and that makes them more likely to die, since they're going to be right underneath this wither when it explodes and when it's just throwing things around. So let me go ahead and start this farm up again, just so that you can kind of see what the rates are going to be. I'm just going to throw an arbitrary number of chickens in, and it'll be what it'll be. Obviously, for wither roses, your biggest contributing factor to this is how many chickens you can get the wither to kill. So your goal is going to be to bring as many eggs as you want to bring along with you. That will maximize your rates. So this wither right over here is now dead. Now all that we need to do is pillar up here with whatever block we want to. And then we can just jump in this block right here and grab all of our wither roses. And as you can see here, just from that, I got 42 wither roses in a matter of maybe a couple of minutes. It does not take that long to get these taken care of and get this wither killed and generate both nether stars and wither roses. But again, once you have that all set up, all you need to do is rebuild your platform and you are good to go. And as you can see, not really taking a lot of damage from this either. This farm is pretty safe as long as you are being smart. You are most likely going to take damage from that phase effect, and when you jump off of this farm like I just did, you're more likely to take damage at that point than anytime else. Now, I'm sure plenty of you are wondering, how many withers can you stack up in here? Well, my recommendation is that you really don't do more than 2. And if you are doing 2, make sure that you get them in before the wither does its blast effect, because when the wither does its blast effect, it's going to blow off that top piece of obsidian, and then you get some weird entity cramming happening, and that will cause your wither most likely to escape. And then you have to deal with a rogue wither here in the end, which is a pretty unpleasant experience to deal with. So as you can see here, I've stacked a couple up here just to kind of demonstrate. It's kind of safe for a little bit, but then you can't even get these blocks placed down. As you can see, I lost a couple there. And then I'm pretty sure, yep, now we have a wither that's just completely loose. It looks like he's taking damage. No, he's going to free himself here in just a minute, and then he's going to wreak havoc and pretty much ruin everything for you. So again, my recommendation is if you're going to do multiple of these, maybe try to keep it to a max of 2. That will help keep things from breaking too much, and, you know, will pretty much avoid this massive catastrophe that's now befallen me. Lastly, and as a secret bonus, this farm also sort of doubles as a wither cannon. I'm not exactly sure how you'd be able to use this, but these are all wither skulls that this thing spits out, and due to the chunk loading distance, you can get quite a lot of these built up. So if you are able to build this near maybe one of your friend's bases, this could be a pretty destructive way in order to basically fire missiles at him. I'm not sure why you'd want to do this to your friends, but it could be funny for maybe like 2 or 3 seconds. But that's going to be it for me in this episode. As always, thank you so much for watching. If you liked this video, found it useful, please consider giving this video a like. If you want to see more videos like this, tutorials, let's plays, shorts, or anything else, please subscribe and hit the bell notification icon so that you get notified when I come out with new content. But as always, thank you so much again for watching, and I'll see you in the next episode. Goodbye.